Hello and welcome to my tiny tarot practice. I'm Amelia Ruby, and on this show, we journey through the tarot card by card with short, sweet episodes, this season exploring the major arcana. The sponsor for our fifth and final season of the show is Tarot for Creative Spirits by Cecily Saylor. You can head to the show notes to learn more about the book and get an exclusive discount code to purchase your copy. Today's card is Justice. In the Rider-Waite-Smith version of the tarot, the Justice card features a person seated on a throne with a sword upright in one hand and scales in the other. They're wearing a red cloak with a green cape and a crown on their head. There are two pillars behind them with fabric flowing between them, and so we can't really see behind Justice. We can only see this person looking right at us. Common interpretations of this card emphasize wisdom, fairness, and balance. We do see the scales here suggesting a balance of sorts. They are balanced in the imagery, hanging evenly. And we also see the sword, which to me always reminds me of decisiveness, because I associate the sword with air and the suit of swords, the suit of air, and the intellect and decision making. The imagery of this card also conjures the High Priestess. We see a veil behind the figure here, like we did the High Priestess. And the pillars are also evocative of the High Priestess, the Hierophant, and the moon. These pillars bring with them that sense of duality that we find in many places in the tarot, but of course not the simplicity of an either or, not a binary way of thinking, but an invitation into considering our doubled nature. In Tarot for the Hard Work, Maria Menes writes that justice points to the middle way. This archetype contemplates the causes and their effects. For every choice we make, there are options we rejected. Justice notices where their energy goes and checks for any spots of energetic leakage. This character ensures balance between what they give and what they receive or achieve. This card advocates for fairness, but they know that concepts of fairness are complicated. The more they experience the world and interact with different people, the more they graduate from black and white thinking into spacious gray areas. I think that quotation is exactly evocative of a duality that is both and. And in Justice, I think that we are called to consider that gray space that Maria Menes references. Justice is not black or white thinking. It is not necessarily the force of the law. I think of justice in the tarot as the forever effort to align our actions with our values and the attention paid to the space between how we act and what we believe. Because I think for so many of us, for all of us, in fact, we are forced or choose to act in ways that are not aligned with what we say or believe to be most important in our lives. Under the oppressive forces of the world that we live in, we are often forced into bad decisions. We are often given choices that are not, in fact, free choices. But it's not simply the systems or structures of our society that cause this. It's also the ways that we fail to know ourselves, to understand our motivations, to articulate what matters most to us or the values that we want to live our lives by. And therefore we can't act in alignment. We can't be balanced in our inner and outer worlds. And so Rachel Pollack in 78 Degrees of Wisdom asks, if we do not understand ourselves, how can we expect to make a free choice? And she argues that we have to see and accept our past in order to be able to step into the present and the future justly. So when this card arrives in a reading, I'm often returned to my core values. Where am I acting in accordance with my beliefs And where am I failing to do so? Justice sees all, and as Maria Minnis mentioned, identifies those energetic leaks. Because when I'm out of alignment, when I'm acting in a way that's not aligned with my values, my life force leaks out of me. I lose integrity. And if I had to choose one key word for this card, that's what it would be. It would be integrity. To me, integrity is that alignment between value and action, between inner belief and outer behavior. And I think that that is what justice is seeking and calling forth from us. Thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of my Tiny Tarot Practice. Our sponsor for this season is Tarot for Creative Spirits by Cecily Saylor. This workbook is really a whole course in tarot wrapped into one book that includes reflection questions and creative prompts for every card of the major and minor arcana, as well as tarot spreads and other creative invitations. The entry for the Justice card includes prompts about your core values and offers ideas for writing a manifesto of your beliefs in action. I can't recommend this book highly enough, and I hope that you'll head to the show notes to learn more and get our exclusive discount code just for my Tiny Tarot Practice listeners. I leave you today with the all-knowing gaze of justice and the invitation to step into integrity.